What is up, everyone? It's Ryan. I'm recording this video to update you guys on my progress as of right now. Let me close this tab here in Unreal. So I'm at the point in this course that I'm taking on Udemy where they actually let you implement some C++ code. Um, it's a bit complicated, but the gist of it is this basically all is something I'll talk about here in a minute. But let me first press play. I'll show you guys what's the gist. Oh wait, actually, I have to actually close the Unreal editor one second because uh there's a bug for those of you that don't know. In Unreal, there's a bug where if you compile, like if you just compile stuff like normally with the live coding thing, it just doesn't always like save into the actual project. So you usually just have to do this, which is like Control Shift B. This basically just allows it to set itself up in Unreal. Okay, so now we can open up Unreal again. It's just gonna take a second. I probably should have done this before the video started, but I wanted to make sure that you guys check the gameplay out first, because that's pretty important, honestly. There's a lot to talk about with this project, so I'll open those, but I'm not gonna worry too much about them. I won't make you guys like too worried about the in-depth lingo. So this is just like part of a little level. Obviously, you can tell there's a lot of like assets here. Um, I just made like a quick little like platforming area to just kind of test how jumping works. I'm still kind of working on it. It's not perfect, I'll show you, but like basically all of this is just like assets that came with like this learning kit. And I used specifically some of these ones over here to make like pillars, platforms, walls, etc. Um, it's not super important, but I did want to show that because that's why you'll see some of these random assets over here. Um, okay, so now I'm going to hit play, and it'll drop my character off in the world here. I had to make an actual like blueprint, or not a blueprint class, but like a C++ class for this character as well. But as you can see, these platforms are moving kind of independently. Um, and then the end goal here is just this, right? So you're probably wondering to yourself, I mean, this is just like a hypothetical question to ask, but you're probably asking yourself, how did I get those platforms to move? How come some platforms are moving in certain directions while others aren't, etc. That's all stuff I want to discuss. It's kind of complicated, but I'll try to give you a brief rundown. That's what the C++ code is for. That's the reason those platforms move. So let me just kind of go over what's here, and I'll just try to like summarize it as best I can. Um, the tick float time delta time override. This basically just tells the code here that it has to, or it tells Unreal basically that it has to check like per like frame, because you know how there's frames in video games, like 60 frames is the standard, but every frame that passes, that's what this checks. It literally like makes sure that this is checked. So delta time basically just means like how fast certain objects will move. The U property, edit anywhere category stuff. Basically, all this is just ways to help us set up our platforms and help them more specifically. It helps them calculate like where the platforms will start, like at a default. Because if we go over here, we can look at a couple of interesting things, like this f vector current location equals get actor location. This basically just gets the location of that platform, which it basically just allows us to edit that location to add like velocity or to add vectors to it. And a vector obviously is this right here. A vector basically just means that there's a couple of different coordinates and different like angles we can move specific objects at. That's why it says add a vector to the location, because it'll say current location equals current location plus platform velocity times delta time. And basically what that does is it takes the current location of this platform and it'll add platform velocity times delta time. So obviously if we're talking PEMDAS, it means that multiplication tends to go first. And that's why it's also parentheses as well. You don't always have to do that, but it does help like kind of organize it, so to speak. Set actor location, current location. Obviously that's after this because we want to get the actor location set after we calculate the platform, like velocity and like where it moves. Float distance reached. This one is interesting. I'm still not 100% sure how it works, but from what I understand, the float distance reached is just a variable that we add into our files. And my phone just rang. Hold on. I'm still like gonna talk about this. I don't care. Just random bullshit text. Let me see here. So we want to go. Oh, it's actually like right here. So the moving platform actor, as we can kind of surmise, is at its own location. But you can see right under it, there's moving platform, where it has platform velocity, x0, y0, and then 200. There's kind of a reason that it's like this, but the TLDRs we basically like we did this in the editor. So in the editor we just made the number 200 because we want it to move up and down. And as you'll see on here, we made this move to the side, which is the y-axis. So it helps, and obviously like the distance moved is just how much distance the platform will go. So we can edit these to like anything we want. But that's kind of the purpose of stuff like float distance reached, which just calculates like it depends on how far we move, because then once we reach a certain distance, it'll actually like go back. So like if I hit play, I just go ahead and eject, and then I look at these platforms, it's actually moving the distance like on here, see? Like it's actually like calculating in real time. I believe it's even like oh yeah, I'm going to talk about overshoot later, but I don't really understand overshoot myself, but I'll talk about it when I have more like information on this. But the TLDR is just it checks the distance that the platform moves, and if it moves too far, it reverses its direction after this if statement. And the if statement's a Boolean, if I remember correctly, because it's like a yes or no thing, right? So if statements basically just help you. That's why there's these extra curly brackets here. We have like float overshoot equals distance reached minus move distance. So like we have move distance and then the distance reached, which pretty much just means that if a platform moves beyond a certain location, it'll reverse the direction and just try to revert it back to the original. And then that's pretty much the gist of this UE log. This is like for Unreal only. It just kind of auto does this for you. You'll notice too that we have F, like percentage F, there's actually like a lot of history behind this particular um, command here. I don't remember exactly, or it's a character. So basically, it's just like there's just a lot here that helps make the platform both move in the opposite direction when it's gone too far, and then that's what the gist of this one is. And then it also just helps the platform even like move from a certain location to begin with. And as if you're probably wondering, you didn't see this platform um, in the starting area where we had all the assets. That's mostly because I had to make that all myself. And that's why this is a lot bigger than the other ones too. But let me see here. Viewport. Yep. So here it is. As you can see, there's just a bunch of different assets flown together. Like just a bunch of walls, some floors. It's basically just there to make it look like a pillar. Um, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of interesting stuff about all this, and I highly implore people that really want to learn how to do this stuff to both install Visual Studio 2022 and to download Unreal Engine 5. For any questions regarding this, I can't really answer them to like the fullest extent. I'm not the best at explaining these types of things, but I do want to make this type of video because it shows both my progress on coding and Unreal, and it shows that I'm trying to learn. I think making the moving platform was kind of a big deal for me. I didn't think it would be as big of a deal to me as it was, but I'm glad that I both made that, and then now that I've actually like implemented it to some degree on here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and save this. Anyway, that's really all I've got for you guys today. The project's still not complete. I do want to like just kind of show what it looks like when you play this. Like I still don't really know how to like there's still some things I don't know, but yeah, it's still good. I enjoy uh finding stuff like this, making it work, and yeah, you can even see like those will push you around. It's kind of cool. Alrighty, that's all I've got for you. See ya.